Informatica for Microsoft Azure enables IT architects, developers, and business analysts to address their data challenges by providing data integration and management tools. In this presentation, I would introduce you to Informatica Cloud and show the capabilities built in for Microsoft Azure, especially for Cortana Analytics Suite. I would then show a sample integration job in Informatica Cloud that integrates enterprise applications with Azure Data Warehouse. I will end this presentation with a summary and give you resources for more information. Today's companies are looking towards utilizing Microsoft Azure services like Cortana Analytics, involving Power BI, Azure SQL Server, and the Azure Cloud Data Warehouses. Informatica helps by solving the problem of integrating Azure with trusted data from cloud, on-premise, social, and big data sources. Informatica helps customers move faster to achieve business results by leveraging the entire breadth of Microsoft Azure services. Like I said earlier, in this presentation, I will give a quick overview of the Informatica Cloud Platform. In this particular example, I would show you how you can use Informatica Cloud to integrate Salesforce and NetSuite data to Microsoft Azure Data Warehouse. This is so that you can gain actionable intelligence leveraging Cortana Analytics Suite and better serve your customer needs. Now let's look at the Informatica Cloud Platform, and I will switch to a Chrome browser for that. What you're looking at is Informatica Cloud Platform interface over a Chrome browser. On the top, you see menu options like Task Wizards, Design, Monitor, Configure, and Administer. On the overview page on the left side, you have quick links to different things required to build a successful integration job. I will not go in detail on each of these, but I will explain about them on a high level. Towards the end of this presentation, I will give links to further resources and also a Cloud Academy courses where you can go learn more about this. Again, but on a high level, the first step is to prepare your environment, which is a Cloud Informatica Cloud Platforms environment. And the next step is to connect, means you will create connections to your data sources like, for example, SAP, Salesforce, or NetSuite. And then the next step is to create the integration jobs to integrate data between source and targets. Once the jobs are created, the next step is to run and monitor jobs. In addition to that, you can perform advanced administration tasks like organization management, user management, and advanced monitoring options. Now that you have an overview of what is required to complete an integration task, I will show you step by step on how to create a connection and create an integration task. But first, let's see how the connections are created. If you navigate to Configure menu and the Connections submenu, you will see a list of connections already created. Here, you click on New and you choose the type of connection. We have more than 150 connectors, native connectors, for example, to Salesforce, Oracle, SQL Server, so on and so forth. And we also have a connector for NetSuite, and in this case, the most interesting is Azure connectors. We have a connector to Azure Blob Storage, Azure Data Warehouse, and obviously, you can use a native SQL Server connector to connect to Azure Server. An Azure SQL Server connection looks like this. We give the host name from the Azure Cloud environment, the username, password, and the connection is made. An Azure Data Warehouse connection looks like this. The connection string, the username, password, and please note that a blob storage is required for performance reasons where the data is staged before loading into Azure Data Warehouse. A Salesforce connection looks like this. Runtime environment, username, password, the security token, and the service URL. Now I will move towards showing our integration tasks a bit more. If you choose the Task Wizards menu option, you can see a bunch of different task kinds here. For example, data synchronization, data replication, and mapping configuration different tasks. In addition, in our advanced version of our Informatica Cloud Platform, we have contact validation and other options. Before I talk about our functionality around advanced integration between Azure Data Warehouse and other apps like Salesforce and NetSuite, I would give an overview of our simplest integration task. In this case, the target is Azure SQL Database. The simplest kind of task is a data synchronization task, which is used to synchronize data between two different data sources. When you select the data synchronization sub-menu option, you will end up with a list of tasks. Here you have standard list filtering, or you can search and you can create a new one. Data synchronization task is a 6-step wizard. Choosing a source, choosing a target, configuring the filters, performing the field mapping, and finally choosing a schedule for this task to run. The first step is to define the task name and choosing the operation. You have the option of you choosing either insert, update, upsert, or delete. The second step is to choose a source for this integration task. In this case, we have chosen a Salesforce and the source object being the account. Please note that you can also choose multiple objects and have multiple source objects to synchronize data from. The third step is to choose the target connection. In this case, we have Azure database residing on the cloud. The fourth step is to choose and configure the data filters. Now you have simple filtering options and advanced filtering options. You can also create an advanced filter if you want to. The fifth step is to perform the field mapping. You can simply drag and drop and perform the field mapping. In addition to that, you can create a transformation using Informatica's Advanced Transformation Engine. Finally, the sixth step, which is the final step, is to schedule. You can choose a schedule for this task that best fits this task to run. For example, hourly, daily, weekly, or up to the minute. Now that you have seen an overview of how a basic integration task is designed and run, let's see an advanced integration design. We call that mapping. If you navigate to Design menu option and go to Mappings, you will land up in a list of mappings page. These are the mappings which are already created in the system. You can click on New Mapping to start creating a new, give a name, and you will land up in a design canvas. On the left hand side, you see a design palette. In the middle, you see the canvas, and the bottom you see a property window. Just like any integrated development environment, this is a design environment. To start designing, you simply drag and drop source, targets. Also, you can do complex transformations including normalizer function, adding expressions, or even doing lookups to other data sources. The mapping I'm showing right now has two data sources, Salesforce and NetSuite. In between, it also does some lookups, joins those two data sources, and pushes that to Azure Data Warehouse. Let's examine the source and target in detail. Click the source connection, navigate to the source, and you see that opportunity and account are the two objects which are being fetched from Salesforce. If you go to the NetSuite connection, you can see that there is a saved search based on which the case information from NetSuite is being fetched. Now let's look at the target connection. On the target, it says it's an Azure Data Warehouse. Oh, by the way, I have parameterized the database object which I want to provide at runtime. Now, this is a mapping which can be a template. Now you have two options. Either you can test the mapping by running it right now, or you can create a new mapping configuration task. So let's create a new mapping configuration task. You just save and create new mapping configuration. And by the way, you can also get to that through Task Wizard menu option and mapping configuration. Here you can see the mapping configuration tasks which are already created. But let's go ahead and create a new mapping configuration task. Here again, its mapping configuration task is a wizard where you define, give a name, choose the mapping that we have just created. You can see the mapping design has a preview being shown here. Choose a runtime environment. Because we have parameterized the target database object, the wizard is giving us an option to choose a parameter. We can choose a database object on the data warehouse side, or we can create a new target. As with any data integration task that we have shown before, in this wizard as well, you have an option to choose a schedule on which this task has to run. You simply choose a schedule and then you save and run it, and the task runs. Once you have started the task to run on a schedule, you can navigate to the monitor menu option and the activity log, and you can see the status of your jobs. Now that I've seen that my jobs are run successfully, I logged into my Azure portal to see my data warehouse activity, and I see that there's a bunch of activity. I can now create intelligent visualizations. In this case, I'm using Power BI. Once I log into Power BI, I connect to the data warehouse server to which I have loaded data from Salesforce and NetSuite. Here, you can see a dashboard built on Power BI based on the data we just loaded. The data is coming from Salesforce and NetSuite. Going back to the presentation Living Informatica Cloud interface, here, let's take a minute to talk about resources that can be used to learn more. Informatica Cloud is available to try for free. We have a Cloud Academy which is free to sign up and use. In addition, we have a wealth of additional resources in the form of videos and self-paced trainings. Also, I would encourage you to familiarize yourself with our cloud architecture. Finally, pricing information can be found at our website as well. Again, I would like to reiterate our rich connectivity to different applications and data sources across cloud and on-premise. In summary, in this presentation, we have seen an overview of Informatica Cloud and its built-in capabilities for Microsoft Azure. We have also seen the platform, its wizard-based approach to create and run basic integration jobs. Also, we have seen the advanced mapping designer and how it can be utilized to integrate Azure services like SQL Data Warehouse and databases. We have seen an example integration of Azure Data Warehouse with Salesforce and NetSuite. And in addition, we have seen the rich connectors that Informatica has to different applications and data sources. Thanks for watching.